Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel, and I'm so happy to be here with you. I hope you click like, subscribe, and share, and that you drop a comment in the comment section below this video. I'm Karleen, this is Hello Karleen, and it's an eclectic little corner on the web where I do videos on all kinds of things. And I felt with everything happening in the world today, again, it's time to do another video. But I also will be going live, so make sure, by the way, just check the description box below for all the offerings that I offer, and some of them are free, such as the upcoming workshop that we're doing in a couple days. Check the description box below where we'll be doing various things around 2025. But you can also join my Patreon for extra content and see what trips I might be offering and also other things. But check the description box below this video and also the remote viewing course that is coming up, because I know some of you want consistency and reliability in how you are able to perceive and what you are able to see. And that's what we're doing in that course, is how to get there. And yeah, it's going to be fun. Anyways, let's dive in and have a look at these wildfires that are happening in California that went out of control, went completely overboard, that burned down Pacific Palisades. And we know that there's a lot that's already being spoken and said all over social media about these fires and the timing and the location and all these things that are coming together, plus certain people that predicted that this would happen. And one of them, I think, was Ali Carter and Jaguar Wright, I believe, and some other people that predicted that fire would be coming up and that would be a topic as a distraction. So we're going to look at what's behind the scenes, like what's going on, what are the energies, what's flowing. Plus, we have we have a victory celebration, a victory rally that's coming up for you guys in the United States of America. And there's also talk, and it seems to be getting more and more serious by the day, about expansionist theories that I'll affectionately call him Cheeto, affectionately, has around Mexico, Greenland, Canada, the Panama Canal. Well, not necessarily Mexico, but the Panama Canal, Greenland, and Canada, and what that's about. And did he play a role, or did they play a role in the resignation of Justin Trudeau? So we're going to have a look at those three things in the reading today, and drop your insights, your knowledge, your links, your fields in the comment section. We need to know. We need to know. The more eyes, the better. So let's have a look here. What's going on? Spirit, let's get into this. What's going on behind the scenes? Instantly, when it comes to the wildfires, it does feel like there was something manipulated there. It's something did happen. I don't even want to look into for some reason, I didn't feel called to look, because it's so obvious maybe, but I didn't feel called to look into the attacks that happened prior to the fires. And I still have gotten around to do a proper video on the drones, I don't think. Or did I? I don't know. Um, so much going on. But in any case, or I did on TikTok, I think. Ah, it's been a while, you guys, forgive me. But in any case, I didn't even, because it's so obvious on that level what's going on years ago. Okay, let's start with the drones, then we'll move through the attacks, then we'll move through the wildfires, then we'll move through expansionist theory and victory rally, then we'll move on to the rest of it, okay? So let's Justin Trudeau resigning, and Macron is still in office, although his he was in effect, he's on his own there. He's supposed to be gone, and maybe we'll have a look. Okay. All right, so let's dive in. The drones, you guys. The drones are man-made. I think all of us are quite clear on that, and we're quite, we realize that. And it's just, what are they doing and who are they by? And supposedly they're not nefarious. Supposedly they're not there to do anything. They're just, what are they, intelligence gathering? I mean, why else would they be flying around for days, right? So fields here, they came off the water. They came off the water. There's something that is off the water, just off the coast, that is sending them out. Why do I say that? Because I've got here the Knight of Cups. And this is something transient. This is something that's floating through. This is not something that's intended to stay. It's a little bit of a gimmick, a fear tactic. It's a little bit of a psyop that's happening with those drones. It's nothing for Americans to really get yet up in arms about. It's just pushing boundaries here, pushing boundaries at the wrong time because they're right in between presidents. So for the Americans, it's the wrong time. For them, of course, it's the perfect time to play around with this. But it is coming off the water. That is a for sure. And here we have the Queen of Cups. Okay. So it's definitely meant to play with the emotional fields of the collective consciousness of the United States of America. And it's definitely meant to trigger some uncertainties, insecurities, and doubt. Hey, I think the drone topic has been covered. So let's move on to the attacks that happened. Now, what's interesting is that in Magdeburg, about a week before the attacks in the US, a similar thing happened. What are the odds? Someone who'd been living an up to then pretty unspectacular kind of in the public eye life, unspectacular. This person was actually a doctor, jumped into a car and drove into a crowd of people at the Magdeburg Christmas market. And so, of course, the news around it was shut down pretty quickly. It was said that he was acting on his own. There were no other accomplices. It didn't lead anywhere. It didn't do anything. But people found out on his social media that he was, well, it happened to be that he came from the Middle East and he was it seemed at first initially anti-Muslim, and he was calling people to actually vote for the right-wing party in Germany that is slowly gaining traction. And so it's a little bit off the wall, all over the place, doesn't really add up, nothing rhymes. There are all kinds of theories where people were thinking, oh, he's doing this on purpose to deceive because there's something in Islam that allows people to deceive or be deceptive in the fight against the non-believers, right? So it who knows? Who knows, right? I'm not going to do a reading on him. But then that came up in California and those the wildfires in California, but also those other attacks in the US, also with a similar MO where someone is driving a car into a crowd and so on and so forth. So apparently these people have military connections, and it's getting more and more clear that probably all the, several, well, we have to be careful what we say or what we speak about with concerns to events that happen specifically in the US, but there seems to be a red thread that runs through it all. So when we're looking at this event in the US, what comes up, and we've got the Empress, which is quite interesting. So Empress and emperors definitely refer to ruling entities when we're doing these mundane readings, right? So anything to do with the queens and the knights, maybe people of high standing, but they also may show locations. But when it comes to the archetype itself, then we're talking about something that's higher up, okay? Empress, this is a ruling entity, okay? So there's definitely, I'd say, with those attacks, there's a specific intention behind it. This is not just someone venting their frustration. This is definitely an attack on the motherland, or from a motherland. Okay, so we'd have to look at which countries describe themselves as a motherland to get behind that. Okay, all righty. So we're moving right along because those two I actually didn't even want to look into, but since they came up, next up, though, what I do want to look into is the fires in California. And we've got here, again, attack on the motherland. It was shuffled. The Empress pops out again. This is an attack coming from a motherland or onto a motherland. So we're looking at countries that define themselves as motherlands because some countries or regimes define themselves as fatherlands. So we'd have to look at the motherland. but definitely something with a feminine energy here. We've also got the Eight of Swords. This is definitely meant to derail. Okay, this is definitely meant to limit, to restrict, to throw the collective consciousness of America into indecision, doubt, despair. That's what the Eight of Swords also represents, right? So it literally says here on this card, and these are the amazing cards by Brian Lahr, Lahr, and I've had him on my channel. So, but in any case, it says here, indecision, neurosis, limitation, sickness, calumny, criticism, blame, bad news, violent chagrin, crisis, and censure. And that's exactly what's happening around this situation in California with wildfires now. Tons of politicians are being criticized, especially the governor and the mayor of Los Angeles, the governor of the state of California, which are, of the blue left-wing party. So also the entire left-wing party, the entire policies around that are coming into question. But yeah, so the energy is moving towards, whoa, what's going on? People are feeling unsettled. They're feeling uncertain. They know that there's something behind this that they just can't 100% maybe pinned down. They have tons of working theories, sure, but the actual facts of it, that's what's causing uncertainty. And this dilemma, this uncertainty that is spreading through the people is going to cause or is intended to cause an internal implosion. So we've got the Knight of Pentacles here, and this is a long, slow strategy. The Knight of Pentacles works slowly. So these things are going to be happening over the next couple of years. We're going to see things over here, things over there, things over here, things over there. And it's always within not a direct attack, so to speak, but always little things that just spark off, set off, and targeting the weaknesses, right? And I remember a show, and in it they were saying that your only teacher is a book, Ender's Game, Orson Scott Card. And Ender's Game, I love that book. And in it, he said the only teacher that you have in life, or the only true teacher, is your enemy, or what you perceive to be your enemy, because your enemy will show you your weaknesses. So this is what's happening with the US, the weaknesses of the US, the infrastructural weaknesses, the emotional weaknesses of the collective. Whatever doesn't allow the collective to unite, to come together as one, this is what's going to be targeted and attacked. So you guys that are in the US, just prepare, because, hey, we're in the age of Aquarius and things are shifting, So we've also got, art. This is Temperance card. So over time is a prism. It's not a linear thing. It's a prism that determines the decisions that you make, which determines the actions that you take, which determines how things unfold and unravel. So we're seeing here that in time, a new vision, a new clarity is going to come up and out. This is the Three of Wands. Okay. When I say new vision and new clarity, what I'm also picking up is a new ideal, or a new idea of United States, of how United States could be run, should be run, and how things should unfold there. Okay, so let's move on with the wildfires. Does this have anything to do with PDF file wood? Does this have anything to do with any of that? Because lots of people are saying, hey, it has a lot to do with that, and that it's tied into a certain person that had an airplane and an island and a little blacklist, which all these names are on, and that is still yet to be revealed fully, officially, or something like that. But also has to do with someone who's currently in jail right now. And I'm not naming names because I don't want this video to be tagged, or my channel is already like, okay. So but it feels as if, this does have to do with people in positions of capability. This is definitely inciting. This is a Lord of the Winds, which is coming up here. Prince of Swords. So this is the Knight of Swords. So the weather is about to flip or change, and it's going to get either less windy, more windy, but I'm feeling more windy. But with the winds, it's probably also going to bring some Yeah, water. Okay, so they're going to, I feel, generate some kind of climate shift there, either artificially inseminating clouds or something like that. But it should start raining in a while. We've got the Nine of Pentacles here. Yeah, so their Nine of Pentacles also has to do with taking control, self-control, self-controlling energies, self-controlling things. So this feels like they're going to start doing stuff like that to generating clouds, making it rain in order to get in control of that. Because the Magus is self-control, taking control of things. And we've also got the Knight of Swords, which is winds, rain, weather changes, that kind of thing. And the Nine of Pentacles, which is also a control card. So Nine of Pentacles has to do with Earth realm, of course, right? So resources, Earth realm, physicality, being in control of a physical situation. And so that's what they're going to do next. What else is coming up around the wildfires, please? What does this have to do with? Is there anything behind it? The Hanged Man. It's meant to hang things up. This is political. This is, I don't feel, I'm not picking up that this is PDF file wood. I feel like this is political. Um, this is something else. This is political. This is targeted, and it's definitely created. This is not something that just, happened. It was created, it was incited, it was lit. Let's see here. What is it with? Yeah, the Knight of the Prince of the Chariot of Earth. So we've got the Knight of Discs. This is a hard-working person. This is someone who never gives up, rolls with the punches. The Knight of Pentacles rolls with the punches, never gives up, takes the hits, keeps working, keeps plowing away, keeps following the agenda, keeps following the plan, keeps following the goal, and just continues, 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 continues. Now, I'm not quite sure, and now we'll move into something also very important, how this is going to play out just yet. I'm really, it's like anything goes with humanity right now, with all the ability to literally change timelines. That is real, that is there. The masses waking up, and with this new consciousness allowing for other realities to morph and merge and reveal themselves, but also new decisions, right? New opportunities with more knowledge that arises. That's coming up. So everything is really, it's a free will universe. And sometimes we don't know how things are going to play out. It's not necessarily destined anymore. We're now in a different level of this matrix game where it's no longer completely, it's not a karmic universe anymore, by the way, you guys. It's really a universe of choice and of grace. That's the next level that we've risen into. So we have the opportunity or the choice how we move forward. Karma is not having the choice. Karma is being hit by something and you just reacting and having to deal with it. And that is old world, old paradigm. And that wasn't truly how karma worked anyways in the old world, old paradigm, but that's how we chose to believe it because it felt good. But an eye for an eye, that's old paradigm. And we're now in the world of grace, and that love trumps all. We have the decision. So we're now 14 years old instead of 5. So when somebody takes their Tonka truck, when we were 5, maybe we would whack that kid and take our Tonka truck back, eye for an eye. But now we're 14 and we have the choice to either whack that kid and take our Tonka truck back, go to our parents and talk to them, talk to our friends, talk to teachers. And, we have all these options that are opening up to us. So it's unsure which way humanity, or in specifically right now, the United States collective, is going to move into. And so we're going to have to wait and see what choice they're going to make, to follow old paradigm things or to rise to the occasion. I'm tipping on rising to the occasion. However, the path there and the things that happen there are going to be quite interesting and reminiscent of past paths taken. And that's already starting with, for example, the victory ceremony that has been announced. There was a victory rally. It's even called a victory rally. And a lot of people don't know their history, but in 1933, from August into September, there was a victory rally in Nuremberg, Germany, for a certain party that had won and was now, in a position of leadership. And then there are these expansionist theories. Now, back in the 30s in Germany, there was a party that had expansionist theories as well. And their expansionist theories were to annex countries towards the east, but also towards the west and to the south, and to completely own that territory, also for military advantage, for human fodder advantage, for all kinds of, to create this massive super state. Here we are in 2024, thinking and joking, air quotes, joking about the same things, but we know they're not jokes. We know they're not jokes. Now we know that it's unlikely that there are going to be any military interventions, but there may be economic pushes, economic drives to control certain territories. And it may not look like, classically like control, but because of the power that is held over this area by a certain country, in effect, it will be control. So we already, are hearing which territories this new regime would like to expand into. And that's Greenland, they want the Panama Canal, they want the Canada. And what does this all have to do with? It has to do with shipping routes. Shipping routes, because the key is the Panama Canal. And they want to rename the Gulf of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. And that's another thing that's been talked about, is renaming the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. Now, will this all happen, or is this all deflection and shenanigans and jokes and not to be taken seriously? I don't think that, speaking things like that on a public stage as a person in a position of power who wants to be taken seriously, who wants to be taken seriously, I don't know if that's the way to go. People are taking it seriously. I've seen shows over here that have been run on the topic, and so they're taking it seriously. They know that there's a lot of horse talk, shop talk, you name it, when initially, when a new power steps in and all of that. But why exactly these topics? So even if it doesn't happen in this regime, it's going to be initiated, and the following or the next will eventually do what they're talking about now. So let's see what's coming up for these expansionist theories and how seriously we should take it. So, serious, absolutely serious, absolutely serious. Exactly that. So we've got the chariot. The chariot is expansionism. It's moving outward, it's expanding, it's doing your thing. It's asserting yourself or your idea, your consciousness, your concepts, your viewpoint in your life, right? So the chariot is showing up here and expanding outward. So it's affirming. The cards are saying, yeah, they're serious. The Ten of Swords this is too much to take on right now. So it's not going to be this year in 2025, but we have ideas, the Ace of Swords and the inspiration. So literally confirming the impression that I got here. So what do we mean with shipping? Well, Panama Canal shipping, Greenland, it's a bulwark, and it's actually a contested area where officially it belongs to Denmark, but in reality, nobody really knows who it belongs to. Greenland says, Greenland belongs to the Greenlanders, but it's kind of like, eh. So it's subsidized by Denmark. It gets tons of money every year just to exist because nothing can actually grow there. It's Pretty rocky, pretty icy, pretty tough ground, tough terrain. And so they have a lot shipped in order to just survive. And there are NATO, I think there's a NATO base there. Americans probably have secret bases there, secret agreements, likely. Um, Things of that nature. So they just want to annex it. Canada, we know Canada has resources that they sell to the United States. So that would be electricity, but also oil. Yes, the US goes back and forth about the quality of the oil and that they have to refine it once it gets there. But I mean, they do that with Mexican oil as well. And it's I mean, all oil is refined, but you guys know what I'm saying. They have to, like, it's not the highest quality oil they say that they get from Canada compared to like the Gulf region or places in the US. And but they still get a ton of oil from Canada and electricity. So lots of energy. They get energy. They're sucking the energy out of Canada, vampires. But in any case, also the shipping routes over the north of Canada. So Arctic Circle, Lawrence, further north of into down into Montreal, right? So a lot goes to get into North America. The largest port is New York, and then after that, I think it's Montreal. So have a look, but there's things there, but also because Canada is a weak link to protect. Because they have so much space or open space that they can be infiltrated. They're going to be and under the protection of the US military anyways. So they figure why not annex it because here we are, It's us doing the heavy lifting anyways, Canada. And so yeah, that's their reasoning. Canadians, all of a sudden, even though to be quite frankly honest on this YouTube channel, Canada has that reputation of being a stepping stone into the United States, especially for new immigrants. And once they get to the Canada, all many people try to do is to get to the US. And it's it's a thing. So there's that as well. But there are Canadians that are proud to be Canadian that are saying absolutely not, not in this lifetime and ever. And but we'll see what happens. So next up is Trudeau resigned. Trudeau resigned as a prime minister. He said it was due to a hung parliament and that he had to resign in all faith, the good faith and consciousness. And this was the longest hung parliament in Canadian history and so on and so forth. And here we have the Page of Cups. So he's putting off this impression of sweetness and poetry and gentleness, a generous, dreamy young woman, it says. So he is absolutely playing with the feminine energy. And it's an illusion though. So what happened to make Trudeau resign? What was did they have something on him? Is there something on Trudeau? And is it connected to Trump? So we've got the Six of Swords, Lord of earned success and enjoy, commissionary, expedient, the door opens, obstacles are removed. No, this is something that he's wanted to do for a while. This is something that he's wanted to do for a while. And I feel like because I read this article way years and years and years ago that he'd already divorced Sophie, his wife, that they'd gone through right after during COVID or after that there was some kind of a separation. She'd moved out or something like that. But then it was like, no, 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 that's not true, and so on and so forth. And then it comes out, yes, they are divorcing. They did get a divorce, and Sophie has moved on. But it feels like there's something around that situation or that scenario that kind of reminded him or triggered him or let him think, actually, this is not what I wanted to do with my life. Because growing up Canadian, a lot, there's so much, yeah, there's so much there's so many reels of Trudeau stating when he was young back in the 90s that he had no intention of getting into politics. He just wanted to be a teacher. Now, I know a lot of you guys are going to be a lot, yeah, okay, I get it. I get it. But it seems that he's going to fall back on that. And I feel like he's going back into trying to connect with his true source, his true self, his true essence here. I'm gonna leave all the other, stuff on the side. I'll just leave it there because this is YouTube. So even though I know what you guys are thinking, I know what you guys are gonna say, Trudeau, I get it. But I'm just gonna, leave it there. I do feel there is an aspect of him, let's say it that way, an aspect of him that is looking to regain his original essence. And he feels he's done enough with the Six of Swords. It's time for him to move on. He feels he's done enough. He's done his job. This is as far as it goes for him and his responsibility. He's done his duties. He wants to focus on his kids, especially a daughter, I feel. I'm not even sure about his kids anymore. Like, does he have two girls and a boy or two boys? I don't know. I think they're three, but there seems to be something with a daughter that he really wants to focus on. Um, let's see here. Why did Trudeau leave? Was he pushed out? We've got the Five of Pentacles. He's looking for to set himself up, or he had to take the time to set himself up. Either or, he was very concerned about his material continuation after, leaving office. So either he's settled that for himself or he's now about to settle it. But he also felt rejected and ostracized. The Five of Pentacles, he couldn't get done what he wanted to get done. He felt ostracized by his team, by his people, by the people in general. He felt like he was never accepted. He didn't feel that feeling of acceptance or that people really accepted his message, his ways of doing things. We've got the Five of Cups. It was too much grief. Like it did cause him grief. It did cause him sadness, his run of events, his tenure. Let's see. Is there anything to the conspiracy theories around him? Is there anything to? We've got the Four of Cups, and the Four of Cups is usually a no card. We've got the Seven of Cups, but that's an illusion. And we've got the Ten of Cups. So he is not a child of sadness, right? He's not a child of sadness. He's caused pain through that. This is the Five of Swords. And that's also, I feel, because the Five of Swords is an act of warfare. It's an act of betrayal or backstabbing. So I feel, as I'm saying, he's not a child of sadness. He doesn't really, as it's a loose German saying that I just translated with people that are able to move on easy, that have multiple affairs, things of that nature. He seems to be that type, and they do have something on him. Okay, they do have something on him. So we've got the Three of Wands. He was invited to look at his options, to look at what else might be out there for him. There was an invitation that was extended to him and to do it speedily. Knight of Swords. Yeah. So I feel he ran into something. On the one hand, he wanted to leave. He wanted to go. He wanted to resign anyways. He wanted to get out of that situation. And he had to take a look at, how will I survive post? And he also was trying to set himself up in certain ways and certain, to move forward, trying to be strategic about things like that. I do feel that a part of him is connected to his children and his family, and even though they're now exes, and where he's saying, I need to get back to who I actually was. This isn't me. This is not who I am. This is not how my family needs to see me or experience me, and not how I want to experience a life. Like this is not my entire life. And I feel like he was very clear on that his life had to be more than that. Then, though, he's no child of sadness. And I feel that there was some kind of a thing in the background that they may have held over him. I don't know how much he cared about it. I'm not feeling a real emotional attachment to that. But I do feel that it was put to him as a suggestion, a strong suggestion to have a look at where else he could, bring himself in, what else he can do with his life. And I felt like that suggestion came to do it swiftly, to do it quickly, leaving him in essence no time. And I feel like he felt very pushed out, ostracized, disconnected, cut off. I do feel like the push came from the south of the border. I do feel like the push initiated there, but the wave carried through his own group or his own team or through north of the border, whatever situation is happening there. And the push was then, he felt that push. But him being ridiculed in certain circles and people talking to people, that's what's coming up for me. Kind of, he got pushed out, definitely. Definitely. And is to be replaced with someone who's more amenable and who is more in line with the right-wing agenda that is rolling across the planet right now for a specific reason. And that reason, my friends, we'll discuss over on Patreon. So if you are not on my Patreon, get on over there because that's the next video that's going up. Thank you so much for watching. And there was one last thing I wanted to look into. One last thing I wanted to look into, the resignation of Trudeau, the fires, the expansionist theories. Oh no, that was it. That was it. All right, you guys, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.